Hello, friends. This is the first of what I will continue to do with weekly video announcements starting on Fridays to just let you know what's coming up for the following week in our course and to just say hi and offer a small prompt for you to engage with the class. I miss you. I miss you a lot, and I hope that you are well and staying healthy and sane amidst this unprecedented chaos. I want to show you first off that I have a candle lit right next to me today as I work. And a candle, as I've learned through retreats and prayer groups and yoga and meditation, using a candle can be a sign of setting an intention and reminding yourself of that intention. And so my intention here is to remind myself that I'm not alone, that I'm in this with you, all the different places that you are, and to remind me to pray for you. Please continue to send prayer requests if you'd like me to hold those for you. And I have a notepad where I'm keeping track of those. And I just love hearing from you. So I'm going to share my screen and just quickly go through what's coming up on Canvas this week for us. Not too much, but let me share. So here's our Canvas page, and let me scroll down to week 11. So next week is when we officially resume classes. You have a couple things due. Basically, what was due last week has been bumped. So your immunization worksheet is due. Let me just remind you again that you are not turning in anything but the worksheet where you have just checked boxes or made little notes about what you have or what you don't have. This is mainly a checkpoint for you and your family to figure out what you still need to complete in order to be ready for a sophomore year starting the nursing program. We're not collecting any medical documents now. That is something that will be addressed over the summer. This is just a way for me to check in with you to see where you're at in this process. So please submit that online by Monday, as well as your ATIT's receipt. If you have questions, please let me know. I've been able to help some students out with that. And then the final thing is your self-care discussion board. So this was a reflection. I'm now asking that you turn it into a discussion board and that you post something here. Let me click on it. I believe some students have already jumped in. Yes. And I'm asking you to describe how you've used self-care to manage this chaos over the last few weeks in 1 to 2 paragraphs, and that you respond to 2 peers at minimum by Friday. This is the way that I am accounting for classroom engagement. So I ask that you post your initial post by Monday and then follow-ups by Friday of next week. I can't wait to read those and learn how you guys are coping. Another thing I wanted to point out at the very top of our Canvas is I have created an open question and answer discussion board. So this is where anyone is free to hop on. If you have questions about what's happening, whether it's related to the course or other things, I'm happy to answer those. I'm going to check in here at least 3 times a week. If you see a peer's question and you know the answer, feel free to answer there as well. And then going back to where we are at in week 11, starting next week. This is when we would have been doing the interviews with professionals. And so I just want to show you a document that I created to kind of walk you through what I expect you to do now. So I do expect you to seek out a new professional that you can interview virtually, spending at least 20 to 30 minutes with them. Make sure you look at the rubric and the syllabus. There's a Google Doc that I have linked here that has questions that people brainstormed about last year. And so that's there for you to just get ideas for your own interview. You may add your own questions to that list too to help others, and I'll pass it on to next year's class. There's 2 parts of this assignment. I believe I talked about this all in my last announcement. So there's the formal paper describing what you learned in the interview, and then there's an informal journal reflection to follow. Lastly, if you're not able to find a professional to interview, I've reached out to all the people that were going to originally come to our event. And so far, my firefighters, my lovely National City firefighters, have responded and said they would be willing to be interviewed virtually. So I created a Google Doc here, and these are their names and who they are and their email addresses. If you want to use one of them, you may, and just put your name there so that we don't inundate one person with a ton of students. And then it's your responsibility to follow up and contact them. This is as far as I'm going with this. If I hear back from more professionals, I will add them to this list. Just want you to know that this is available to you. And all 4 of these men are fabulous. I have been working with them since last fall. We ran a weekly flu clinic together with my senior students, and they're really, really great people. So that is all that's coming up for next week. Discussion board, immunization worksheet, tease receipt, find your professional to interview. The paper is not due for a few more weeks, but I say get on it now. It's due April 20th down here. All right. The last thing I want to share with you is, let me pull it up here, something that we've been practicing in my home. A few weeks ago, a therapist gave us this very simple worksheet that we have on our fridge, and it has become a bit of a lifeline for me and my husband and my kids as we just practice identifying how we're feeling, because we sure have felt the gamut of emotions in the last week or two. So it sounds so simple, but sometimes it's so helpful to actually name how we're feeling in the moment. So to practice that for me today, I am feeling sad and I'm feeling puzzled. Puzzled because sometimes I don't know what to feel. Um, my husband was saying that he kind of appreciates this downtime and the quality time with our family and the simplicity of it all. And yet I don't know how to feel happy right now about this situation, even though it does bring a more peaceful rhythm. Because I think of all of the people around the world who are suffering so greatly, not only with illness and death, but with the economic downfall. I have 2 very close friends who are small business owners who may not keep their businesses, and that's heartbreaking to me. And there's a myriad of other situations, as I'm sure you're aware, of people really experiencing a lot of deep sadness. So I feel sad about that. I feel that weight, and I feel puzzled because I also want to be optimistic, and I don't know how to hold both sometimes. So my request for you is that you share with me and with all of us, reply to this announcement and let us know, what face would you pick today to describe how you're feeling, and maybe a sentence or 2 on why. Would love to hear from you. May you be well and safe. May God's peace continue to move through you and your family. And I will check in with you all next week.